Talk Stroke. I am your host and also a stroke survivor, Jerry Wall. And for those of you that are new here, I started doing this show to bring awareness to stroke, TBI, aphasia, mental health, brain injury. And I also wanted to provide a platform for all survivors to share their journey um, from all across the world and also bring on experts in brain health so they can share their knowledge with us. As we do need to learn about this. So anyway, this morning's guest is Junior Hernandez, and Junior will be talking about his journey and what he's doing as well, and inspiring us. So please ask questions. Don't be shy and make comments. And if you have not done it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's Talk Stroke. So let's go ahead and get started. All righty. So when you get here, please tell us where you're from, what state, and what country. So look, there is Jeff.
Yep.
Hey, Junior, nice to see you.
What's up?
Look at that. Jeff is number one here. So how are you, man?
I'm doing good. Last week was a testy week. Uh, with COVID, like not COVID. I don't want to say I had COVID, but
Yeah.
I thought I did, and I was out of commission for a little bit, and dealt with a good friend of mine who passed away. So that was a little rough, and
Yeah.
last week was in the past, thank the Lord, and
Absolutely.
but it was definitely an experience. I went through, even though I had such lows last week, I also had some really good highs. So that's a true definition of a survivor. Like, we have these ups and downs, and we're able to kind of come out of the other side. Like, I made it and I
Yeah,
survived.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Um, there you go. Thanks, Katie. You're from London. Nice to see you again in Virginia. Great to see you. So thank you for commenting. And if any questions, please ask Junior. He's here. He's the one and only Junior. I'm so glad that you're here.
Yeah, I am too. I'm pretty pumped that I'm on the show. I seen Jeff was on it a while ago, and I just loved your professionalism and the way you kind of like called out all the guests and all the commentators as well, and I just thought that was really awesome. And
Wow.
you have such a reach, and I didn't realize I had such a reach with like my motivation times and the things
Right.
I do. So it's great to be here. It really is.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you're here too. And yeah, I love the. If you guys have any comments, I see them. Yeah, Tammy, Stephen, Deborah. Love. Okay, you know Deborah Sweetie. Um, she loves you. Do you see the comments here?
Deborah. I love Deborah. Every time I see her name, I'm like, sweetie.
Exactly. So when did you have your stroke? What or how
I
about this?
had
Who before your stroke? Who was Junior?
before my stroke, I was a comedian. I did that for like 5 years.
Wow.
I did a lot of traveling, and I was based out of Texas. Um, I was doing a lot of that, like partying and living the
Sure.
young man's life, and that was pretty much it. Like, I didn't have time for anybody else. I was kind of self-centered in that way,
Hmm.
and just just working a lot. I miss working, but I'll get back there one of these days. But before the stroke, I was more like focused on my gains and my um advancement in life. I wasn't worried about other people too much. Not necessarily saying I was a bad person, but
Right.
I wasn't really caring enough to reach out to the fellow, my fellow man, and do certain things that I do now. So um after the stroke, man, I'm like, I wouldn't be friends with the guy who I was before the stroke. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
um, I love who I am now, and I take full advantage of my opportunity that God has given me, and you know, we don't always get a second chance at life, and um, I think that's the main reason why I do what I do now, because you know, we can't take things for granted.
Absolutely, no kidding. And so you had like a year ago, right? When you
Yeah,
had your stroke, and I mean, you're doing terrific.
I appreciate it. Like it's been a lot of hard work, and
Absolutely.
I have a great support system. Both, I'm fortunate enough that both of my parents are still here,
Nice.
and they're awesome. And when I was living in Texas before I had the stroke, I'd maybe see them once a year, and with travel and everything like that, it was hard to get around.
Absolutely.
And now I get to spend time with them every day. I have dinner with them and have our morning coffee together, and
Nice.
um, so many cool memories I'm able to share with them now, um, that I wouldn't have, in a weird way, I would have had if I didn't have the stroke.
Right, right. It's amazing how you change after your stroke. And I completely understand that. I think
Absolutely.
we all do who in this um, who have had a stroke. We really do understand. Mike Peters and Bo, nice to see you from New Orleans. Um, so, and I don't know if you know, Brooke, nice to see you. Um, good to see you all there. Yeah, so now I mean, you're doing so much stuff. You're still doing PT and OT, and you wanted to talk about
Oh yeah. I stopped doing PT and OT and ST for a while because I didn't have insurance. I have insurance now, but if we do some research in your local area, I'm not saying that every company's the same. It's
right,
not, but do the research and find out. Some of these companies have different scholarships, different charity events that offer PT, OT, SE absolutely free.
wow,
Um, I had no idea until I did the research. You don't know what you don't know.
right,
And once I was accepted, it was a quick turnaround, and I was able to kind of like get a premium uh version of therapy for no cost at all, no
sure,
money out of my pocket. So I um I highly recommend that you guys do research and kind of go out there and see what's available, because like I said, you don't know what you don't know, and you never know what opportunities are just around the corner. You just gotta open your eyes. The internet is a powerful thing.
right,
Do the research, and there might be a company out there that does the same kind of thing, and as long as you're willing to put in the work, a lot of these places are willing to help you, so definitely do the research.
yeah. I obviously it makes a difference because a lot of people, like we talked about, a lot of people just don't go to therapy because
Hmm.
they don't have insurance. But there are other ways, like you said, get on the internet and look.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Like the one I go to is Brooks Rehabilitation, and they actually do all the physical therapy for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow.
So
Oh,
like I get a premium, like a high level of help. It's kind of frustrating, some of the exercises I do, but that's part of it, right?
yeah, exactly.
And learning how to like do certain things, like different versions of exercises that I wouldn't even consider therapy.
Right.
Yesterday I was using remember that game of Perfection? Like you had to
Yes.
put like these little.
Yeah.
So like I
Oh,
used that machine. I
yeah.
didn't use the timer. Thank the Lord, because that thing is like so stressful. But
Wow.
I didn't even think to use that as therapy, and like use it with my yeah. Uh-huh.
That's
I made my
amazing.
mom coffee,
Oh,
and I
nice.
forgot. I forgot I made it.
Yeah.
Ma, can you? I'm on your show. Can you bring my coffee, please? I love you.
That is a great. I mean, like Brooke, exactly. You're that game. Oh, that's absolutely amazing. So you have to get the, into the thing and
Yeah,
hit the side. Oh my gosh, yeah, the timer would not be good for me. But
no, no.
wow,
I was she brought it out, and I was like, all this like stress and anxiety from when I was a kid started coming out. I was like, oh no, and she was like, no, we're not gonna do the timer. It's just
yeah,
fitting in the pieces, and I was like, oh, that's really good therapy because it's like
yeah,
you use a little needle,
yeah.
like for your eyes or whatever. Forget what it's called, but it's oh, thank you. Excuse me, real quick.
No, it's all good. That is
Oh,
incredible. I'm going to tell my therapist because I go
yeah,
tomorrow about that because I don't see anybody doing that.
yeah, and I started using Simon Says. Remember Simon,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
game? I have one here, and just memory like recall and memorizing where the pattern's gonna be, and it's great therapy. Like there's therapy all over,
right.
and we don't realize like things, like the typical things like washing dishes, vacuuming,
Oh
and doing
yeah,
your household chores. But like some of those games offer great therapy, and if you just think outside the box a little bit, everything
yeah,
could be therapy.
right, right. So do you see Tammy comment to you?
Aw,
Yeah, spreading the-
thank you, Tammy.
awesome, Tammy. Such a good person. And Brooke, everybody. Um, so I appreciate everybody being here. Jeff O'Karen is awesome. So you know the same people.
Yeah, and Jeff, he's gotten integrated into my little like circle, and man, it's a crazy like the friendship like we've been able to kind of muster
Right,
throughout this experience. Like I met him on a search like a stroke survivor support group. Like
right.
he was asking me like, oh, like I want to start doing comedy. I was looking for like minded people, and we just clicked. And he, when I'm down and having one of my days, he always
Yep.
checks on me. He's a great dude. He's a great
Yeah,
dude. He's got a heart of gold, and um,
absolutely.
I'm gonna meet him this weekend, like I was saying, for the first time. So
Right.
I'm really jazzed about that, and slowly but surely, he's become one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And I would have like never assumed that I would have such a great relationship with another stroke survivor. Like I said earlier, you don't know what you don't know, and
Yeah.
um, who would have known this guy who lived clear across the country? Who, in reality, we don't have a lot in common, but if we like able to kind of like take your defenses and turn them down, and
Yeah.
genuinely allow people into your life, um, I wouldn't have anything in common with this like 50-year-old guy. I'm sorry, Jeff. But
No.
um he- who you don't know what life has set up for us, and
Right.
I'm grateful that he's a good friend of mine now, and I can't wait to see him.
Yeah, it's exciting. You see, Jeff saying, "Thanks, Junior. You're making me cry." And that's the thing. We've met so many people in the stroke world here. Just I have more friends in my stroke than I have, you know, out here around here.
Yeah, regular friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So yeah, Tammy, the 50 is the new 30. Absolutely. So Junior, did you go through um which like when you first had your stroke? Did you go through like depression? Did you just
Yeah, like when I first had the stroke, like most stroke survivors, I thought my life was over. And
yeah,
I went through like I had to learn how to accept that this is part of my life now. And
yeah,
that's hard for
yeah,
everyone. The first 3 months I was kind of like always in my room and laying down most of the time. Um trying not to be involved, in life. And um it got to a point where I was like exerting so much energy being negative,
Yeah.
then it takes the same amount of energy to be positive, you know?
Right.
And I kind of changed that perspective, and I was able to kind of like realize like I could sit here and woe is me and kind of cry over my old life, or I can make this new
Mhm.
one as awesome as it can be. And I think once I allow myself to change that mentality,
Right.
um, I was able to open up a whole bunch of new doors that wasn't accessible to me before because my mentality wouldn't allow it. And
Right.
once I came out of that depression, I it was no like I wasn't looking back for anything. Like I just sat there and was like really thought about my instead of looking at things half empty, I decided to look at things half full. And I
Right.
think once I was able to change that perspective, like a lot of things changed in my life.
Right. Right. It's amazing. You know Aubrey? She's
No, I haven't met
so-
over yet.
simply she's saying, "Hey Junior, I'm so glad that I met such a fighter like you."
Oh,
Just yeah. Uh,
I dude, like I'm sorry if I I met so many people recently. Like
yeah.
it's kind of hard to keep up with everybody. So if
It
I
is.
you know if I forget this a name or something, I'm so sorry. I love you though.
No, I completely understand. Yeah, and Rochelle, nice to see you from the Caribbean. There's some great, great people out here. And Sharon, if I missed you, who out here, apologize. But thank you for being here, you guys. And
Hmm.
remember,
Thank you
subscribe
so
to this.
much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you're here because you sound like you've
And
got so much.
your community is so like it's not like the other communities with show service. Like I've noticed like everyone's like well like put together and uh they just want to support other stroke survivors,
Yeah,
and it's a tight knit crew you run here, and I love it. Like I said, like I was looking forward to the show. I was so bummed out last week I couldn't do it because I
right.
literally couldn't,
Yeah,
and like I tried, but I was like we should focus on like rest and drinking liquids, and you know
absolutely. Yeah,
the show's not going anywhere. You're gonna be
right.
fine.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you made it. So I'm glad you feel better. And yeah, sometimes I get caught up in these comments. I appreciate you guys
Yeah.
commenting. Keep going. This is awesome. Um, yeah, Sharon, it was very hard to get
Oh,
out of
okay,
that.
okay, okay. I know now. When she said the guitars in the background, I know exactly who are. Hey, Aubrey.
Yeah, Timberly, oh, nice to see you. He's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey, Paul, nice to see you. Hey, great story. Yeah, it is an amazing story. You're good. Thanks, Deborah. But yeah, so but like yesterday, you actually went surfing.
no, it was on the weekend on Saturday,
Oh, the weekend,
and
yeah,
yeah, man, it was such a cool experience. The foundation is called Oceans of Hope, and they help all kinds of trauma survivors. Kind of like lead a simpler and an attainable lifestyle. Like I never been surfing, but I
right,
used to skate when I was younger and rollerblade and all kind of things. And so the concept wasn't hard on me, and but like man, I felt like the Kool-Aid man, right? Like, oh
yeah,
yeah. Like I felt like I was really pumped up,
right,
and they had so many volunteers. Everybody was so welcoming and so nice, and the board was huge, right? But the guy who was on the board with me was like, "Yo, just relax and lay down," and he made everything so user friendly for me. It was
right,
at first it was really daunting, but once I was able to kind of get that first wave in, um, like everything opened up, and he by the second wave he let me go by myself, and I
Oh,
was
what?
able to kind of like ride some of the waves, and I'm addicted now. Like I want to
Yeah.
go surfing all the time.
Wow.
I think that was really cool, and what the service they're providing for stroke survivors for TBIs, um, is so needed
Yeah.
nowadays. Like there's so much negativity out there. Just for a half hour, you can forget about all your worries and just you in the water. And it was such a rewarding experience. I highly recommend if you
Wow.
have the opportunity to go do it because it was so cool.
Absolutely. It sounds great. Salute, Zach and Junior. Where did you surf?
It was in New Smyrna Beach here in Florida. I got some good waves. Apparently, I don't, I don't know, but they said I had some really good waves, and man, they're strong. Like you could like feeling the wave. Like I had like my feet off the board, and I could feel like the water rushing
Wow.
and formulating. And I was like, man, that was really like tough. But
Yeah.
man, it was so like I said, the water was beautiful and the temperature was it was a perfect day.
Wow.
Besides like the incoming storm towards the end, um, because Florida is kind of like it doesn't know what it wants to do with its weather. Like Monday is like 1 minute it's perfectly fine, clear skies, and the next it looks like it's in a hurricane. So
Wow.
that's Florida for you though.
Wow. So what? I'm sure people want to know, since you are like me with stroke survivors, what kind of deficits do you have?
So I have double vision here and there, here and there. Like I notice it gets really bad when I'm really tired.
Right.
Um, my balance is still like subpar. I'm able like because I've been working so hard. Um, like when I first had the stroke, I was in a wheelchair, and then graduated to a walker, and now I'm at the cane level. But the other day on Sunday, I was able to do most of my walking without the cane. It
Wow.
wasn't beautiful. My gait is still, an issue, but I'm trying to like mentally like walk without like any assistance,
Right.
and I have the defect in my face here, and I have a slight aphasia. Um, those are really my major deficits. Like I have like pretty much good articulation in my fingers. I'm not like I'm real clumsy with my left hand. Like my left side was affected, so I try to like do little things like hold my coffee cup and with my left side and try to
Nice.
drink. Like there's like I said, there's therapy in everything we do, so I try my best to focus on the things that I need help on. Cause like
Right.
I'm right-handed, I can sit here all day, and I'm not challenging myself by just doing this. But if
That's
I'm constantly like trying to work on my left, I'm bettering my chances at recovering. And if
right.
you don't lose it, like you lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. So I try
Right.
to like use it as much as I can every single day.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Jeff, no defects. I wouldn't say that. I said deficits. Oops. But sorry, Jeff. But funny. 6 years now. Yeah, I'm with you there, Aubrey, about walking. I have my kids tell me, my grandkids tell me I walk like a penguin. Like you said, the gate.
Yeah,
But it's all good. It's all good. Junior said defect. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Junior, you said defect. Okay. Thank you, Jeff, for clearing that up. I,
I don't know what's going on there, to be honest.
funny. That's funny. So, wow. So what's your daily routine now? And
Um,
you,
I wake up, I take my medicine. That's like one of the first things I do. You know, take brush my teeth, like do like I have like a little morning routine. Drink my coffee. Um, go work out. Most like I try not to work out. I used to work out every day.
Right.
but my body was like, "We can't do that every day, buddy. Like, slow down, you know."
Yeah.
So like probably 3 4 times a week, I wake up in the morning and I go out, to the. I have a little like home gym kind of in the apartment complex that I live
Sure.
at. So it's cool because I get up so early that no one's in the gym, so I have like access to the whole little gym by myself, and I do that, and then the other days like I do little therapies like using my Simon machine, like doing little things like I've been playing a lot of guitar here recently
Oh,
for
nice.
fun and therapy as well. Cause like I have to like, just strum with this side and so it's a
Yeah.
lot of work and I do a lot of that and just try to spend time with mom and dad when it's available. Um I do another thing too, when I'm up for it. Like there's Brooks, the rehabilitation center I go through. They have like an adaptive sports program. So um, there's other stroke survivors, cancer survivors, CBIs. Um, this whole community out there that I had no access to really until I started kind of going to these adaptive sports programs, and we
Nice.
do things like tai chi, yoga, bowling, ERG rowing. Like there's, like I said, the internet is a powerful thing, and you don't know what you don't know. And if you do a little research, I'm sure like not every place is gonna. And like I know certain soap stores are in small little towns and things like that. But like, look if you're in a major city, like look into like what's available around you because you don't know, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice to see you, Johnson. Juan, always good to see you too. Or
Hello, Jocelyn.
yeah, so funny. Sometimes I just throw things out there and it doesn't make sense. Um, but so you do have neural fatigue?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like for instance, I knew today was gonna be like mentally exhausting, right? So like
yeah,
just because I'm having a conversation, um, like I have to be on, right? For like a show like this. I'm not gonna be like, oh man, So like I have to like exert a lot of energy to like which I love to do. It's not like I'm forcing it, but
right,
like I knew, like I went to work out this morning, and I got up at like 6. I did my like motivation time, and I did like my little morning, good mornings, and I did
nice,
all my routine. And
wow,
I was like, let me get a little nap in there so I can like feel refreshed for the interview, and then after I do this, like I was talking to you in the green room, I have PT, so that's an hour of
yeah,
physical. I'm gonna be exhausted by then. Once I'm done with that, like I'm pretty much clear for the rest of the day.
okay,
Um, so I'm able to kind of like try not nap every single day. Like I try to only nap when I absolutely need it. Um,
absolutely,
cause I want to like battle that fatigue. But like I notice like when I'm doing a lot of things at once, like my brain is kind of like, all right, buddy, it's like slow down, you know.
yeah, yeah,
And like sometimes I forget that I'm a silk server, and I'm like, oh, we'll do this, that, and the third, and um, my brain is like, all right, buddy, like you mean well, right?
yeah,
So I want to do all these things too, but I'm pretty tired. I need to recover,
yeah,
and I learned, and man, I had no idea what a stroke was until you have one. Unfortunately,
yeah,
like I heard of the word, but I had no idea what it actually entitled.
right,
I'm a professional now. I did all this research, but beforehand, I had no idea like what neuropathy was, and learning to kind of take things. I have a little stroke survivor, um, she actually calls me Little Turtle. She's like, take it slow, because I'm always doing something. which is
Right.
cool. Like, but like you have to learn how to like take the good with the bad. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh no, I believe it. Uh, Great comments, and really nice to see you here. And you're right. We have to push through ourselves. And Aubrey said something um, about. Oh, I forgot Aubrey. Sorry, but it was something about talking is tiring, but you have to. Um, I guess I have to find it. I apologize there. Oh, in the meantime, do you take any meds?
Yeah, I have high blood pressure.
Yeah,
So I take 4 medicines daily.
yeah,
I take like lisinopril, um,
yeah.
some other ones I don't know the names, the
I
names of,
know.
but
I know.
they like two of them are for high blood pressure.
Right,
Um, Speaking of siren, and you want for sure.
Rochelle. So
Uh,
sorry, Aubrey, or Rochelle. Uh,
One of you guys, but I want to get to the point like I've been kind of checking my blood pressure every single day,
oh, good to
and
see.
my doctor recommended that I do it like at different points of the day to kind of get a good baseline,
Wow.
instead of doing it like every day at the same time because you don't know like in the morning I'm doing this like it's a lot like it's a better number than what it would be at night, so
Right.
um I like probably after I do this I'm gonna check my blood pressure and make sure like it hasn't like 140s is still high, but like for me, like that's where the doctor wants me.
Right.
So,
Right.
um, I've had like me checking every day kind of gives me an idea of like where I'm at. When I was sick last week, it was really elevated because I was obviously sick. But
Sure.
I take that. I take one for cholesterol, and I honestly don't know what the other one is. To be
Right.
completely honest with you,
Yeah.
the doctor was like, "Yeah, take this one." I'm like, "Sure, whatever." Like,
Yeah.
so you get paid the big bucks, right? Like you're the doctor. I'm just
Yeah.
the what's the word? Like some days, like patient. There we go.
Yeah.
Like I had to like really work for like certain words. I'm like.
Yeah.
I know what that word is. It's like at the tip of my tongue, but like
Yeah.
I call it stroke brain.
Yeah. Exactly. I understand.
Hmm.
Wow. Uh, yeah. So when you go out, um, yes, Lou, good, important to keep track of your vitals. Is it, do you, when you go out, because like, for example, for me, if I'm going to go somewhere, I've got to prepare. I can't just go and think, okay, are people, I got to prepare where I'm going to go. If there's a bump
Hmm.
in the road or it's a bumpy road, if I don't know where I'm going, it's tough.
Yeah, it is. I'm very fortunate that like I guess like I have a good mind for those things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I keep those things always at the back of my head,
Yeah.
so I know if I'm gonna do like, for instance, like I know today I'm gonna go to BT, so I know I had to get on the escalator. Like I know how to do certain things just to get to their floor.
Yeah.
Um, Hills. I have a couple of hills I have to conquer. And which I have a love hate relationship with those. And so like, I know it takes me a little while to get dressed. I'm able to get dressed for myself. I'm able to do a lot of things independently.
Sure.
So
Awesome.
but it all takes time. So like I have to set, you know, I have to be a master scheduler, like
Yeah.
with things,
Yeah.
and it's gonna take me like 20 minutes to like get dressed, and then by the time if I have an appointment at 1 o'clock, I have to like make sure I'm ready like by 12:30, so I'm not holding up my parents who are gonna give me a ride. It's a lot of work into
Yeah.
like where before it was like, all right, I have an appointment at 1 o'clock. I can start getting ready at 12:30, and I'm out the door by like
Yeah.
12:45. Um,
Yeah.
Now it's like a constant like I have to make sure I have my wallet. I have to make sure I have my keys. Like things like that. Like I have to double check every single thing, and
Yeah.
it's annoying sometimes. It's
Yeah.
annoying, but like I said, like we have like such an opportunity to make the most out of life, and um if you have to sacrifice a little bit, like, and double check things, like, all right, like that's not the worst thing, right? Like,
Right.
um there's worse things that could be going on in your life, and I don't wish a stroke on anybody. Like, I don't wish a stroke. It's a horrible disease, and we're lucky to even be in in the position we are now.
Right.
But man, like I get, like I said, I get a second opportunity at life, and um, you know, I could easily not be here and not be working hard, and giving glory to God. And I try not to talk too much. I'm not a Bible thumper, but God
Right.
has been so good to me. And if you want to sit down and talk about God, I'm down to talk about God. But I'm not gonna be the guy who's like, "Do you know your verses?" Like, I'm not gonna push it on you either. So,
Yeah.
um, and I think that's like really, like, nowadays it's kind of something that's lost on our communities. It's like we're so caught up with the here and now, like we forget to like really count our blessings, and
Right.
um, just be grateful for what we do have. It's like,
Absolutely.
I don't have this, I don't have that. Like, yes, it's like unfortunate. I try not to use certain words, like, um I kind of feel like it's an oxymoron if I use it, but like I try not to use the word sucks, because
Right.
it's like it's such a negative word,
Sure.
and like I feel like if you give it any power, like you're just like furthering the cause, right? So
Right.
like I try to sit here and use words like unfortunate, and um I don't use like I thought, I think, or certain words like that. I try to use like I believe, or I think there's like a huge power to giving those words strength. And um I think if yeah, I use that, I think again, I believe that if we use our words for good, um, that we're able to do a lot of things that we weren't capable of doing before. You just
Yeah.
got to change that mentality.
Absolutely. And it's great to see. We like I always say when people come on, if we can inspire one person, yeah, I feel like it was well worth it. But all these comments are, you're right, Junior. Yes, you're right. You're so you are making a difference in this world. You know,
Like that's kind of how like motivation time started. Like
sure.
it was kind of like a way to kind of keep myself honest,
Yeah,
and work out daily and do something productive every single day. And it was more for my own sake.
yeah,
And then I started realizing like the impact of what I was doing to like other stroke survivors, and inspiring and motivating others. And now I graduated to this thing where like I do it for you guys. Like there's a lot of people who can't, who want to get out of the wheelchair and work
yeah,
out, do some of the things I do. So I kind of like those days where I'm not fully ready to go, right? Like some days I'm like, oh, I have to go be like Junior today. Like it's exhausting, but like I think about all those people who can't do what we do, and I work out extra hard for them. And um, like I like I'll tell you a quick story. A couple of weeks ago, I went and I was bowling. I went to a bowling thing,
wow,
and this lady was like, "Are you that kid that does all the workouts online?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "I recognize you from your motivation time." She
wow,
she just moved to this area, from Phoenix, Arizona, from somewhere like far away, and I had no idea. Like she wasn't like I call her like a ghost follower, like she was following my journey, but she wasn't commenting. She wasn't
yeah,
like leaving likes or whatever, and she's like, "You're so awesome with what you're doing," and like I had no idea, like I was like touching so many lives,
Yeah, you don't even know
and
who.
and we got to talk, and it was a really cool experience, honestly. Like I kind of felt like a little like local celebrity,
Yeah,
but
I
I
love it.
was just like, yeah, I'm just a regular dude, and there's nothing special about me. Like I'm just a regular old dude. I don't think highly of myself in the sense of like I'm too big for my britches, and um I try to reach out to people and have a conversation, because not everybody's gonna have their parents or um a support system of people who are gonna be there to like listen. And
Yeah,
there's a lot of us that are by ourselves, so I make it a like part of my day to like, hey, check on people and how you doing today, and is everything okay with you? I try to make that part of my day and part of my routine, because like you don't know who you're gonna touch or who you're gonna impact.
exactly. It's so important, and we understand what we're going through. You know,
Hmm.
they may, like you said, they may not need it. They all just a how hey, how are you? That just a something. Just want to
Hmm.
say hello. It's so
Hey, I'm
important.
thinking about you today. Like things like that, you have no idea like how like that can affect somebody's day. Like
Right,
you can totally make somebody's day by just saying, "Hey, how
right.
you doing? I love you today, buddy. I miss
Yeah,
you. Like I was thinking about you." That can change someone's whole day around. They could be having a really bad day, and
right.
you reach out, and I think if each of us as stroke survivors reach out and uplift just one person,
That's right.
we can make this world a really beautiful place. Like
Absolutely.
it has awesome moments, but we can make it so much better.
Yeah, absolutely. So that I mean, it's probably an easy question for you to answer. Is who? What would you tell? Like we talked about some people. You're just reaching out to people and just thinking about you to say I love you or whatever. So what would you tell somebody that isn't not really doing good, like down in the dumps, the depression?
That like you're not alone. I when I had the stroke originally, like I thought I was by myself, and I didn't realize that there was a whole community of people who are going through the same kind of thing,
Right.
who understands, right? Who understands what you're going through. The stroke affects everybody differently. Um, don't One thing I like I stress highly, because I was one thing I had to learn myself. Don't compare, like stop comparing yourself to others. Um, Once you're able to do that, like a lot of things, like everyone has their own journey,
Yeah.
and right now you may be going through a tough time in your life, a tough season, but
Right.
it's temporary. Like you're gonna come out of it like and be a stronger person at the end of the day. One thing I've learned, especially with this whole stroke, is like emotions are like toddlers. I use it like if you feed into them and
Mm,
you let them run wild, they're gonna do what toddlers do. They're gonna just take over and wow, wow, wow. But if you just keep them in check and acknowledge, okay, like I understand where you're coming from, but let those emotions kind of pass. Like they're gonna pass.
right.
Eventually, they will pass. And like I said, like just because you had a bad moment in your day doesn't mean you had a bad day. You know what I mean? Like you had a bad 5 minutes, and everybody goes through that. Like even people without the stroke have a bad 5 minutes. Don't let that define your whole day.
Uh,
I'm speaking from experience, because I used to do that. Like, oh, one thing went wrong during the day, and it was like I had a bad day. Like, no,
yeah.
you did. You had a bad 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like be honest with yourself, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because there's people out there who are willing to give you help, whether it's listening to a conversation or being there when you are by yourself and you're going through dark times. there's always going to be people like myself, um, that are willing to and genuinely
Right.
uh, want to help. Because like it's unfortunate to go through this by yourself, and don't make your life harder than it needs to be. You know what I mean? Like there's
Absolutely.
people out there who want to help and be a part of your journey, and everyone has a story. Like be around to kind of tell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unique story. Everybody's unique. And Aubrey, I'm just reaching out because since you put it on the screen, comparison is tough. She struggles with it. Well, I still struggle with that. Keep comparing. Um, so,
Like when I first had the stroke, I had this like fantasy in my head where I was like, oh, a couple of months and I'll be back to
what,
normal. Like I'm
I
sure a
know.
lot of people, went through that whole thing, and I started seeing other stroke survivors that were like walking fine and had no visual defects, and you're like, oh, like I want to get there so bad, but you
Right.
don't know the sacrifices that person needed to make to get there. Um, everyone has their own journey,
Yeah.
and I think if you continue to work hard and stay positive, that's like the two biggest things: working hard and staying positive. Um, everything else becomes a little bit easier,
Yeah.
to kind of handle. Like, um, not everything is gonna be so daunting where you're like, oh man, I can't climb this hill today because like X, Y, and Z. We're so quick to give ourselves excuses than to look in the mirror and be like, you know what, like I'm gonna conquer that hill today. Or be your biggest support system, be your biggest fan, right? Like I
Yeah.
look in the mirror and I tell myself, you know, you're the S word, right? Like you're
Right.
you know, um, it's kind of cocky. It comes off as cocky, but like if you can convince yourself that you're worthy of
Right.
someone liking you,
Right.
um, then it's kind of easy to convince somebody else of the same thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Um, so hope that helped there, Aubrey. But yeah, in March I never said hello. Hello. So nice to see you earlier. But yeah, that was great. Great point there, and just great motivation. I mean, I can see you being a motivational speaker. You really um, should be speaking at places to hit
Well,
people out.
what I want to do is it's kind of crazy how life is, and I think my life has purpose now. Like I wasn't really sure what my purpose was, especially after stroke. Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
And I think it's to help other people. Like,
Yeah.
and kind of like I want to go start volunteering some of my time at the hospital,
Yeah.
because like when you first had the stroke, everything seems so crazy. Like you
Yeah.
don't know what's up or what's down. And to have somebody who's gonna be like, hey, like you're gonna be okay. Like
Yeah.
things right now seem up. Up is down, down is up. Like nothing makes sense. But
Right.
just know that this is temporary, and you're gonna get through this. And there's like if you would have told me the first couple of months of me having my stroke that I was gonna be on an online show talking to you,
Right.
Jerry, I would have
Right.
been like, "You're out of your mind."
Yeah.
But here we are. So, um, just be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself, and don't be afraid to ask for help, because there's plenty of good people out there. There's
Absolutely.
some bad apples. There's some bad apples, but once you weed through that garbage, you're gonna find some really good people out there.
Wow. You I appreciate you being on the show. Absolutely incredible. You really not only touched me, I'm sure, but by you looking at the comments later, it's beautiful. You
Yeah,
guys are awesome out there. And
I,
so,
I definitely have to look back
yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
Because at one point it was just like I kept seeing like and I was like, I don't get distracted, Junior. Focus on the conversation.
yeah, and I do. I'm the one that gets distracted because love I love reading the comments. You know, they're talking to what their experiences are like, and talking to you, and which is that's amazing. So, any last words that you want to reach out
Um,
there that we missed?
just like I think I did a really good job of like kind of like touching all bases that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
Um, just be kind and uplift to each other. Like let's not be haters, right? Like, oh, this person is doing better than me. Who cares? Like, who
yeah,
cares?
yeah,
Um, there's like, you know, for instance, I give an example. I could sit here and look at somebody who has like a perfect smile still, and like that's one of the things I really miss. You know, is being able to fully smile. Um, because half my face doesn't want to cooperate. But I could sit here and like hate on that, but like you can hate on me for different amount of reasons, and I think it's very critical that we try to limit the hate that the negative energy that we're putting out there,
sure,
and just be kind to one another, help uplift on each other, one another, and um, you know tomorrow's gonna be a better day than it was today for sure.
right. Wow, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and you guys out here that are so kind and making a
Don't be a
great.
hater.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's right, Aubrey. Exactly what Junior said. That's right. Look at this. Yep.
Hmm.
PMA, positive mental attitude. Well, you guys, thank you again for being here. I appreciate it, and I know Junior. I really appreciate you. You're awesome. You're amazing.
Yeah, if you ever have a cancellation, I would love to be on the show again.
Perfect.
It was such a good time. Like, thank you for thinking of me and bringing me on. And um, if you guys want some more of my positive mental attitude, you can join our show that I do. Look at that shameless plug. straight talk, straight talk. On strengthen you, and I do this once a week where I talk to other survivors, and um, it's a different dynamic, but I think more of us like bringing laughter and smiles into each other's life is always a good thing. So check it out.
Absolutely, and I'll put it in the comments um, the show, and yeah, I'm glad you do that show. And uh, Kelly Grant's just saying that she would love to be your friend on Facebook. It's just Kelly
Yeah,
Grant.
you guys, like I'm not a one of these like, I don't want to talk to like. Feel free to send me a friend request. Um, I'll make time. I'll make time. I'm not gonna like promise that I'm gonna be like immediately talking to one of you guys. Like it's a lot, but I'll make time for each and every one of you. So if you guys wanna like send me a friend request, I'm more than happy to accept.
I think that's great, and also make sure you let uh, Junior know that you saw Junior on my show, so that because sometimes there's all scammers out there, or,
Hmm.
so let him know. Obviously, you can tell
Yo, this hour went by so quickly. Like holy crap,
I
you
know,
know.
isn't it? It goes so fast, and I see. That is, I think what Kelly said, best show ever. Um,
Aw,
Junior, awesome. So, all right, well, we'll see you guys till the next one on Thursday. So
bye.